Hey everyone, welcome back to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. I am back with more retro gaming news, and yes, I know it is April 1st, but no, I'm not planning on doing any kind of weird April Fool's joke. There's just too much news to go through. So much happened this week that I really just want to get right into it. And I all right, wait a minute. Something's not right here. Hang on. Hang on. Let me just try with the cam. Let me. Okay, phew, that is much better. Oh, all right, let's get into the real news, shall we? And let's start with something that I'm gonna just say is kind of retro gaming adjacent. And this was news that broke earlier this week involving Breath of the Wild 2 on the Nintendo Switch. So unfortunately, Nintendo put out a video earlier this week reporting that Breath of the Wild 2, which still doesn't have an official title, it's just being called the sequel to Breath of the Wild, is not going to come out in 2022, but will instead be released in the spring of 2023. And of course, this has caused a lot of speculation on people's parts, especially this right here. This is what a lot of people are talking about is, number one, that look at the Master Sword, which looks really broken or just kind of gnarly and whatever. And a lot of people have pointed out that that handle looks a lot like the Master Sword from Skyward Sword. And since most of this game takes place, or I shouldn't say most, but part of this game does take place in the sky as well as on land, there's an obvious connection there that people are talking about. Plus, there's all those tattoos on Link's body, which, I don't know, for me just give me more of a Twilight Princess vibe. I'm not sure why, they just kind of do. So, a lot of speculation on what that could be. And beyond that, too, a lot of people are wondering if maybe this game got pushed off because they're working on the Nintendo Switch Pro. Now, anytime any kind of thing comes up with Nintendo Switch, the first thing people are jumping to is, oh, it's the Switch Pro. Switch Pro's coming. Switch Pro's coming. And, you know, maybe they pushed it back so that this can be a launch title for the Switch Pro next year. But I'm not totally convinced by that personally. I think Nintendo has kind of said that they really don't plan on a refresh for the Switch until probably 2024. So I wouldn't put my bets on this being a launch title for Switch Pro. I think they just, because of COVID and other things, they just needed more time to develop it, more time to get it right, and they're just being honest about that. So that was that. On to other news, also involving the Nintendo Switch, is we got a couple of new NES and Super NES games launched for the online service this week. So Nintendo Switch Online has given us a couple new games for the NES and Super NES. And first up, we have Earthworm Jim for the Super NES. I'm sorry, Earthworm Jim 2, I should say, for Super NES. We don't have the first one on there, but they did put the second one on. And this is such a fun platformer, so much humor in it. I always love the Earthworm Jim games, and they're going to be a lot of fun to play online. Then, of course, there were the titles for the NES, which were Dig Dug 2, which is an old school arcade game. Again, interesting that we got Dig Dug 2 without a Dig Dug, but yeah, this is a lot of fun to play too. And then, of course, we got Mappy Land, which is the sequel to Mappy. So, two old school arcade titles now available for the Nintendo Switch Online service. So, if you are subscribed to the main online, not the expansion, you will get access to these three new titles. And I also just wanted to point out real quick that along with Earthworm Jim 2 for the Super NES, they also released special edition versions of Super Punch-Out and Super Mario World. So you can play those with the special features in it. They do this from time to time where they'll release games and they'll do them with special features on it. So you play like certain levels, or you play like a speeded up version of the game, or, you know, with like no weapons or all weapons, or whatever it could be. I haven't looked closely into what the special features are for those two, but they are also available for the Super NES on Nintendo Switch Online. Also, earlier this week, Sony announced their update for the PlayStation Plus service, which will be launching in June. This is their Xbox Game Pass killer, sort of. It's not really quite like Game Pass. Basically, what they've done is they've taken PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now, and they're going to be merging them together through a tiered system so that basically you can get the service that you want for what you want to pay. All right, so we'll just I just want to go through them really quick. And here they are. And the first level is what they call PlayStation Plus Essential, which is basically just your standard PlayStation Plus. Okay, gives you access to monthly free games, some exclusive discounts, your cloud storage, your online play, and it's basically the same price as what you're paying for PlayStation Plus right now, which is $10 a month or $60, $24.99 per quarter, $60 a year. And then, of course, there's the Europe, UK, and Japan prices as well. But basically, this is what you're paying for now if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Moving on down, they've added PlayStation Plus Extra, which gives you all the same benefits as the Essential tier, and adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party partners. Games in the Extra tier are downloadable for play. So, for this service, they will be charging $15 a month, $40 quarterly, or $100 a year. So basically, it's a bump up from PlayStation Plus with some of the features of PlayStation Now, involving all the PS4 and PS5 games that you can play. Basically, that's exactly what it is. It's PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now combined, but at a discounted price. You're basically getting it for, $5 a month extra than what PlayStation Plus is, instead of the $15 or whatever, or $10 a month that it is now. And then, of course, there's the PlayStation Plus Premium, which has all the benefits of Essential and Extra, but adds in 340 additional games, including PS3 games via cloud streaming, and a catalog of beloved classics available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP. And this is where I think most of the retro gamers are going to be excited, is this PlayStation Plus Premium, because it's going to be the tier that you need if you want to get access to all the old games going all the way back to the PS1. And this one's going to run you $17.99 a month, $50 quarterly, or $120 a year. So double what the Essential tier is. But still, a really good price for what they're offering on this. Hopefully it's good. We will see. I know that they said that anybody who is already subscribed to PlayStation Now will automatically roll into this. Just like anybody who's subscribed to PlayStation Plus will automatically roll into Essentials. Now, if you're subscribed to both, I'm not sure. Probably to the Premium. You probably roll into the Premium if you're subscribed to both. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's definitely something I want to check out when it becomes available around June. They said they want everybody, they want to do a rollout of this, but they want the rollout to be done by the end of the first half of the year, which to me is the end of June. So sometime in June, hopefully this should be available here in the US. Moving on to news about Iircade 1UP, and I did cover this in a video a couple of days ago, so I just want to touch on it real quick, is the fact that the Pac-Man Couchcade is now available for purchase from the Iircade 1UP site. Okay, this is the controller with beanbag where you can play 10 games, and the games are, just to go over them again, is Pac-Man, Pac-Mania, New Rally X, Galaxy and Galaga, Galaga 88, Dig Dug 2, Rolling Thunder, and Mappy. The controller hooks up wirelessly to this box/dongle that hooks up to your TV and lets you play these games. They're also looking at doing an Atari one as well, which will have a spinner, trackball, and some buttons in it that you can play. One interesting thing that I would guess, well, they haven't said yet, is I believe most of the guts are probably going to be in this little dongle here. So I'm guessing if you were to own multiples of these Partycades, you'd probably have to either swap out or have multiples of these dongles plugged into your TV in order for it to work. Just something that I thought of after I had shot the other video and wanted to bring up. But yeah, not much more to say about that. I already covered it in another video. Feel free to check that one out. And these are the Couchcades from Iircade 1UP. One other thing I want to touch on real quick that happened this week, which is unfortunate, is that the ESA has decided to cancel E3 this year in both physical and digital format. There will not be an E3 at all, not even a digital online version. And this is what the ESA had to say. We will devote all of our energy and resources to delivering a revitalized physical and digital E3 experience next summer. Whether enjoyed from the show floor or your favorite devices, the 2023 showcase will bring the community, media, and industry back together in an all-new format and interactive experience. We look forward to presenting E3 to fans around the world live from Los Angeles in 2023. The ESA added that the 2022 showcase has been canceled so the organization can focus its resources on the 2023 show. So there you have it. There is no E3 this year, whether it's physical or digital. I think the original thought was that they weren't going to do a physical show, but they would do something online, and now they decided to cancel that altogether and just focus on coming back stronger, hopefully, for the 2023 show. My guess is that a lot of the big companies, your Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they will all do their own little online events. You know, I'm sure we'll get a state of play from Sony. I'm sure we will get an online from Microsoft. I'm sure we will get something from Nintendo around that time. I'm sure companies like Iircade and Arcade 1-Up and At Games will probably make announcements around that time anyway, even without having a showcase for them. We will probably still see some kind of announcements come around that time. So everybody keep your eyes and ears open for June, July of this year, and we'll see what people have to say even without an E3 to bring them together. And lastly for today, I want to touch on Iircade, because Iircade has launched 3 new games on their service, and let's just take a look at those real quick. So the first game is a game called Portal Dogs. This game is created by a company called Brain Connected, and I believe this is one of their modern partners, because it's got that modern kind of almost mobile game look to it. Definitely not a retro arcade game. Definitely more of a modern flair to it. I don't know much about it, but it does kind of look like an interesting little platformer, and it retails on their site for $3.99. Next up is another vertical scrolling shooter from Talplan called Sky Shark. And in this one, it looks like you play kind of maybe a World War I or World War II theme. You're in this little biplane going around and shooting different planes and tanks and different things. Again, not one that I remember too much, but I've never been 100% familiar with all of the Talplan shooters. But this one does have 2-player action. It does also have leaderboards, and it retails on their site for $7.99. And the next game up is Arabian Magic from Taito. This is an old school side-scrolling beat-em-up that you can play 2 players on. As you can see, it's got kind of an Arabian Nights look and feel to it with your characters. Lots of sword fighting, lots of magic. You can call in these genies to help you, which is kind of cool. And yeah, kind of a sleeper hit maybe from the arcades. Not one that people knew too much about maybe, but looks like a lot of fun. And definitely one that you should check out. And this is available on their site right now for $9.99. And I just want to bring up one other real quick. This is Guardian, which is another Talplan game, but it's not their typical shooter game. It's almost like a side-scrolling kind of beat-em-up where you walk around and you have to jump and punch at these guys. I guess you're like an alien in a little spacesuit. This was actually supposed to launch today, but they took it off of the store because I guess they had some kind of a problem with it that they're working on. So expect to see this come up again really soon, maybe later this week or by next Friday for their next releases. But just keep an eye out for this one because this is Guardian from Talplan, and it will be coming to the Iircade soon. Lastly, I just want to touch on one other thing involving the Iircades, and that is online play. Now, online play was supposed to launch, they said, first quarter of this year. But they had a couple of little, I don't even want to say setbacks, but just a couple of things that they wanted to just get 100% right before they launched it. So they made the decision to push it back just 2 weeks. So online play will be officially launched on the Iircade on April 15th. Now, what they have said is their plan, first off, that this is going to be an alpha, so expect some rough edges, and, be aware of that. So, if things aren't working 100%, have a little patience, for sure. It's definitely going to be in an alpha state, but you know, they want to make sure they got as much of it right as they could before they push it out the door. So 2 weeks from now, you will get online play. They're going to have about 3 to 5 games available at launch, and then roll out 3 to 5 every week while they're doing the alpha. Now, for how long that alpha is going to last, I have no idea, but that's what they have said so far. And so far, the only game that they have mentioned that will be available, and this will be available April 15th at launch, is Windjammers, which is a ton of fun, great game. It's a perfect game to have online play with and really test out the system. So if you own Windjammers, in 2 weeks you will be able to play it online with your friends. So look forward to that. Now, they've also said that while this is in alpha, the service will be free. There is not going to be any added pay for the ability to play these online. Will that change over time? Maybe, but they're not making any announcements till they get much further in and out of alpha, maybe even in, you know, into or out of beta before they, you know, start to announce stuff like that. And again, with new features and stuff, they'll start to kind of dole that out as things get rolling, but mostly they want to focus on connectivity and getting games up and running for you to play. The other thing that they've said is that online play will allow for both server and peer-to-peer play, which you can choose when you launch each game. So you have the choice of playing based on server connection or direct peer-to-peer connection with a friend. So, you know, which is a good thing. It's great that they're giving you those options, and both of those have their pluses and minuses, but they've said that, you know, both are running about the same in terms of speed and latency and whatever, so, which is good. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm definitely looking forward to you guys out there who have your Iircades. Once this launches, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know how it's going. I want to know, you know, what you're playing and how well it works. But I will keep posting the news on it, even though I don't own one. I will keep posting the news on it because I feel it's important. All right, and I'm just going to stop there this week. Like I said, there was a ton of stuff that happened this week. I just wanted to kind of hit it real quick. I can go into detail on anything. I know sometimes I go into a little bit more detail on stuff, but there was just so much this week, and I hadn't had a chance to put separate videos out for a lot of that stuff, so just wanted to get it out there to you. And that'll do it for this time. Sorry if I sound a little hoarse. I don't know what's going on with my voice today. It's a little weird, so I apologize for that if it's coming across on the video. But hey, that's it for this week. I will be back with you guys real soon with another video. I'm expecting a delivery soon. I ordered the Iircade Games Pro controller, the 2-player controller from GameStop. They had it, they've been having their $100 sale, and it was going for a little while, or it was available just in stores. Then it came back online, so I jumped on it when it was online. I think it's, again, out and only available at the stores. But I'm looking forward to getting mine. I'm looking forward to setting it up, playing it. I know maybe I'm late on reviewing this. I know other people have done it because it's been out for a while, but hey, you know, I'll give my opinion on it anyway. And I'm looking forward to getting things like CoinOpsX running on it and giving you my opinion on that. So look for that. That's going to be coming hopefully sometime next week. All right, but that's it for this time, and hope you enjoyed the video. If you are subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. I appreciate you subscribing. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and click that subscription bell. The subscription button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I put out new videos. Give this video a thumbs up, and feel free to share it whenever you feel that's appropriate. All right, that's it again, and I will be talking to you soon, so have a great day. Take care.